Remember those family road trips when stopping at Stuckey's was a must? The anticipation of pulling into that iconic blue roof, knowing you were in for a treat? Stuckey's was more than just a pit stop. It was a symbol of the great American road trip experience. For many baby boomers, Stuckey's is the embodiment of the golden age of car travel. From the 1950s through the 1980s, families would pile into station wagons and hit the open road, eagerly awaiting that telltale Stuckey's sign. It promised a welcome break filled with quirky souvenirs, classic American snacks, and of course, those famous pecan log rolls. Stuckey's wasn't just a place to stretch your legs and refuel. It was an integral part of the journey, a shared experience that brought families closer together. The memories made at Stuckey's are as vivid today as they were decades ago, a testament to the lasting impact of this beloved roadside icon. It all began with a humble roadside pecan stand back in 1937. W.S. Stuckey Sr. had a vision to create a one-stop shop for weary travelers, offering not just fuel for their cars, but sustenance and delight for their souls. Little did he know his modest enterprise would soon blossom into a nationwide phenomenon, forever changing the landscape of the great American road trip. As Stuckey's expanded, so did its offerings. Alongside the famous pecan log rolls, meticulously crafted by Stuckey's wife Ethel, the stores began to stock an eclectic array of merchandise. Rubber alligators, novelty ashtrays, and state-specific souvenirs lined the shelves, tempting travelers with their whimsical charm. These quirky items became just as much a part of the Stuckey's experience as the refreshments themselves. But Stuckey's wasn't merely a place to grab a quick bite or pick up a trinket. It was an oasis of comfort and convenience in an era when such amenities were scarce along the highway. Clean restrooms, air conditioning, and friendly service set Stuckey's apart from the competition. For families on long journeys, these simple luxuries were a godsend. As the Stuckey's empire grew, so did its iconic status. The company's marketing and branding perfectly captured the spirit of the American road trip. Billboards featuring the distinctive blue roof and promising "Eat here, get gas" became a familiar sight along the nation's highways. These signs were more than just advertisements. They were beacons of hope, signaling to travelers that a welcoming respite was just around the bend. Stuckey's understood the power of anticipation. Kids would crane their necks, eager to spot the next billboard, knowing that a stop at Stuckey's meant a break from the monotony of the road. They'd plead with their parents, bargaining for a chance to explore the wonders within. And more often than not, those parents would give in, unable to resist the allure of a pecan log roll and a moment of peace. The genius of Stuckey's lay in its ability to cater to the unique needs and preferences of each region it served. While the core offerings remained consistent, individual stores would stock items that reflected the local culture and heritage. Whether it was alligator souvenirs in Florida or cactus candy in Arizona, Stuckey's had something to delight every traveler. This attention to regional diversity made each Stuckey's stop feel like a small adventure within the larger journey. Families would eagerly compare their hauls, marveling at the differences and similarities between stores. In a time before the homogenization of highway travel, Stuckey's offered a glimpse into the rich tapestry of American life. For the baby boomer generation, Stuckey's was more than just a chain of roadside stops. It was a symbol of their youth, a touchstone of a simpler time when the open road held endless possibilities. The memories made at Stuckey's, the laughter, the sticky fingers, the treasured souvenirs, are forever woven into the fabric of their collective experience. Today, those memories continue to evoke a powerful sense of nostalgia. The mere mention of Stuckey's is enough to transport baby boomers back to a time when the journey was as important as the destination, and when a humble pecan log roll could make even the longest car ride feel like a grand adventure. In this golden age of car travel, Stuckey's wasn't just a pit stop. It was an integral part of the journey itself. For countless families, the memories created at Stuckey's were just as important as the destinations they were heading to. The Stuckey's experience was carefully crafted to enhance the joy and excitement of the great American road trip. As families hit the open road, anticipation would build with each passing mile. Kids would keep their eyes peeled for those iconic Stuckey's billboards, featuring the distinctive blue roof and promising a world of delights within. The clever slogans and enticing imagery were more than just marketing. They were a siren call to weary travelers, offering a much-needed break from the monotony of the highway. When a Stuckey's sign finally appeared on the horizon, the excitement in the car was palpable. Kids would plead with their parents to stop, bargaining and cajoling until they finally relented. The promise of stretching their legs, indulging in a sweet treat, and exploring the store's quirky offerings was simply too tempting to resist. As families pulled into the parking lot, they were greeted by the welcoming sight of that famous blue roof. Stepping inside, they were transported into a world of sensory delights. The aroma of freshly made pecan log rolls filled the air, mingling with the scent of hot coffee and savory snacks. The shelves were lined with a dizzying array of souvenirs and novelty items, each one more intriguing than the last. But Stuckey's wasn't a one-size-fits-all experience. The company understood that each region had its own unique character and charm, and they tailored their offerings to reflect this diversity. In Florida, travelers might find alligator-shaped keychains and citrus-flavored candies, while in the Southwest, cactus jelly and turquoise jewelry were popular items. This attention to local culture made each Stuckey's stop feel like a mini-adventure, offering a taste of the region's distinct personality. For kids, a visit to Stuckey's was a chance to explore a world of wonder. They'd dart from shelf to shelf, marveling at the rubber snakes, novelty lighters, and state-themed salt and pepper shakers. The store was a treasure trove of delights, each item more fascinating than the last. Parents would indulge their children's curiosity, knowing that these small purchases would become cherished mementos of their journey. But Stuckey's wasn't just about the merchandise. It was a place where families could take a break from the road, enjoy a moment of togetherness, and create lasting memories. They'd gather around the counter, savoring the sweet, gooey goodness of a pecan log roll or sipping on an ice-cold soda. These simple pleasures took on a special significance in the context of a family road trip. They were shared experiences that would be remembered long after the journey had ended. As families piled back into their cars, their Stuckey's souvenirs in tow, they'd feel a sense of contentment and connection. The stop had been more than just a break from driving. It had been a bonding experience, a chance to create memories that would last a lifetime. The laughter, the sticky fingers, the treasured trinkets. These were the things that made a road trip truly special. Looking back, it's clear that Stuckey's played an essential role in shaping the culture of the great American road trip. It wasn't just a place to refuel and restock. It was a destination in its own right. A place where families could come together and create unforgettable memories. For baby boomers, the Stuckey's experience is a cherished part of their collective memory, a reminder of a time when the journey was just as important as the destination. But as the decades passed, the landscape of American travel began to shift. New challenges emerged, threatening the very existence of this beloved roadside icon. As we'll explore in the next section, the decline of Stuckey's was a reflection of broader changes in American society. Changes that would forever alter the way we travel and the memories we make along the way. As the golden age of car travel began to wane, Stuckey's faced a series of challenges that threatened its very existence. The once thriving chain, which had been a beloved fixture of the American road trip, found itself struggling to adapt to a rapidly changing landscape. The factors that led to Stuckey's decline were complex and multifaceted, reflecting broader shifts in American society and culture. One of the most significant challenges Stuckey's faced was the oil embargo of the 1970s. As gas prices skyrocketed, families began to rethink their travel habits. The long, leisurely road trips that had once been a staple of American life became increasingly expensive and impractical. Families started to favor shorter, more localized vacations, often opting to fly rather than drive. As a result, the steady stream of customers that had once sustained Stuckey's began to dwindle. At the same time, air travel was becoming more accessible and affordable. The deregulation of the airline industry in 1978 led to increased competition and lower fares, making flying a more attractive option for many families. As more people took to the skies, the Great American Road Trip began to lose its luster. The romance of the open road, which had once been such an integral part of Stuckey's appeal, was slowly fading away. But it wasn't just external factors that contributed to Stuckey's decline. In the 1960s, the company was sold to Pet Milk, a large corporate conglomerate. Under new ownership, Stuckey's began to lose its way. The focus shifted from providing a unique, locally tailored experience to maximizing profits and streamlining operations. The quirky regional offerings that had once set Stuckey's apart were gradually phased out in favor of a more homogenized product line. As Stuckey's lost touch with its roots, it also lost touch with its customers. The personal, family-friendly atmosphere that had once been the chain's hallmark gave way to a more impersonal, corporate feel. Stuckey's began to blend in with the countless other rest stops and fast food joints that dotted the nation's highways. The distinctive blue roof, once a beacon of warmth and familiarity, became just another roadside logo. Over the decades, Stuckey's passed through many hands, each new owner seemingly less invested in preserving the company's unique identity. Stores began to close, and the brand's presence on the nation's highways dwindled. By the early 2000s, Stuckey's had become a shadow of its former self, with only a handful of locations remaining. The decline of Stuckey's was a reflection of broader changes in American society. As the nation's transportation infrastructure evolved and travel habits shifted, the Great American Road Trip began to lose its cultural significance. The rise of the interstate highway system, with its faceless rest stops and generic fast food chains, made Stuckey's traditional approach seem quaint and outmoded. But perhaps most importantly, the decline of Stuckey's signaled a shift in the way Americans viewed travel itself. The joy of the journey, once such an integral part of the Stuckey's experience, was gradually replaced by a focus on efficiency and convenience. The memories made along the way, memories of laughter and wonder shared outside with a melting pecan log roll on a hot summer day, took a back seat in the race to the destination. Yet even as Stuckey's star faded, hope was not lost. For deep in the heart of Georgia, a new champion was emerging. One with a fierce determination to revive her grandfather's beloved brand and restore its rightful place in the pantheon of American road trip icons. Into this void stepped Stephanie Stuckey, granddaughter of the company's founder, and a woman on a mission to bring Stuckey's roaring back to life. With a profound love for her family's legacy and a keen understanding of what made Stuckey's so special, Stephanie set out to resurrect the brand, and in doing so, to reignite the joy and wonder of the Great American Road Trip. In the face of Stuckey's decline, a beacon of hope emerged in the form of Stephanie Stuckey, the granddaughter of the company's founder. With a deep love for her family's legacy and a fierce determination to revive the brand, Stephanie embarked on a mission to bring Stuckey's back from the brink of obscurity. Stephanie's journey began in 2019, when she took the helm as CEO of Stuckey's. She knew that reviving the brand would be no easy feat. Decades of neglect and corporate mismanagement had taken their toll. But Stephanie was undaunted. Armed with a clear vision and an unwavering commitment to her grandfather's values, she set out to resurrect Stuckey's and restore its place in the hearts of American travelers. One of Stephanie's first priorities was to refocus the company on its core offerings. She recognized that Stuckey's had always been known for its high-quality pecan products, particularly the beloved pecan log roll. By doubling down on these signature items and ensuring that they were made with the finest ingredients, Stephanie aimed to reinvigorate the brand's reputation for quality and taste. But Stephanie's vision went beyond just pecans. She understood that Stuckey's success had always been rooted in its ability to create unique, memorable experiences for travelers. To that end, she began reopening Stuckey's locations along major highways, carefully selecting sites that would be convenient for modern-day road trippers. These new stores were designed to evoke the same sense of warmth and nostalgia that had made Stuckey's so beloved in its heyday. Inside these revamped locations, customers found a delightful blend of old and new. Classic Stuckey's merchandise like pecan log rolls and kitschy souvenirs sat alongside more modern offerings like gourmet coffee and healthy snack options. The goal was to create a one-stop shop that catered to the needs of today's travelers while still preserving the quirky, old-fashioned charm that had always been Stuckey's hallmark. Stephanie also recognized the power of nostalgia in reviving the brand. She knew that for many baby boomers, Stuckey's held a special place in their hearts, a reminder of simpler times and cherished family memories. By leaning into this nostalgia through targeted marketing campaigns and retro-inspired branding, Stephanie aimed to rekindle that emotional connection and introduce Stuckey's to a new generation of travelers. These efforts soon began to pay off. New Stuckey's locations started popping up across the country, from the Carolinas to Texas to Oklahoma. The brand's retail presence also expanded, with Stuckey's products finding their way onto the shelves of major retailers like Cracker Barrel and Bass Pro Shops. Slowly but surely, Stuckey's was regaining its foothold in the American travel landscape. But perhaps most importantly, Stephanie's revival of Stuckey's tapped into a deep yearning among Americans for a return to a simpler, more authentic way of travel. In an age of faceless rest stops and generic fast food chains, Stuckey's offered a refreshing alternative, a place where travelers could slow down, savor the journey, and create lasting memories with their loved ones. As Stuckey's began to re-emerge, it was a testament to the enduring power of the great American road trip. The brand stood as a bastion of hope in a disposable culture, a reminder that the magic and wonder of the open road cannot be suppressed for long. Under Stephanie Stuckey's passionate leadership, it appeared that Stuckey's was well on its way to reclaiming its rightful place as a roadside icon. But the road ahead was not without its challenges. The changing nature of American travel has raised questions about whether the traditional road trip still holds the same allure for modern families. In the next section, we will take a closer look at how road trips have evolved since the golden age of Stuckey's, and what that means for the future of this beloved American institution. Under Stephanie Stuckey's passionate leadership, it appeared that Stuckey's was well on its way to reclaiming its rightful place as a roadside icon. But the road ahead was not without its challenges. The changing nature of American travel has raised questions about whether the traditional road trip still holds the same allure for modern families. The evolution of road trips since the golden age of Stuckey's has been shaped by a multitude of factors, from the expansion of the interstate highway system to the rise of modern travel conveniences. In the 1950s and 60s, when Stuckey's was at its peak, road trips were an adventure into the unknown. Families would set out on winding, two-lane highways, never quite sure what they might encounter along the way. Every stop was a chance to discover something new and exciting, whether it was a quirky roadside attraction or a mom-and-pop diner serving up local specialties. But as the interstate highway system expanded, road travel became more standardized and predictable. The winding, scenic routes of yesteryear gave way to straight, multi-lane highways designed for speed and efficiency. Rest stops became more generic, offering the same fast food chains and gas station fare from coast to coast. The serendipity and surprise of the old-fashioned road trip began to fade away, replaced by a more streamlined, homogenized experience. At the same time, modern travel conveniences have made road trips easier and more comfortable than ever before. Cars are now equipped with GPS navigation, climate control, and entertainment systems that can keep passengers occupied for hours on end. Smartphones and apps have made it possible to plan and book every aspect of a trip in advance, from hotels to restaurants to attractions. The spontaneity and unpredictability that once defined the road trip experience has given way to a more curated, controlled approach. These changes have undoubtedly made road travel more accessible and convenient for modern families. But they have also raised questions about what has been lost in the process. The sense of adventure and discovery that once made road trips so special has been diluted by the homogenization of the highway landscape. The opportunities for personal connection and local flavor have diminished as travelers rely more heavily on corporate chains and online reviews. For baby boomers who grew up during the golden age of Stuckey's, these changes can be bittersweet. On one hand, they may appreciate the ease and comfort of modern road travel. But on the other, they may long for the days when every road trip was a unique and unpredictable experience, full of surprises and serendipitous encounters. This tension between past and present is at the heart of Stephanie Stuckey's efforts to revive her family's brand. By tapping into the nostalgia and authenticity of the old-fashioned road trip, she hopes to create a new generation of Stuckey's fans who appreciate the value of slowing down, exploring, and making memories along the way. At the same time, she recognizes the need to adapt to the realities of modern travel offering convenient locations and updated amenities that cater to today's road trippers. Ultimately, the evolution of road trips reflects broader changes in American society and culture. As our lives have become more fast-paced and technology-driven, the traditional road trip has taken on new meanings and associations. For some, it represents a chance to unplug and reconnect with the simple pleasures of the open road. For others, it is a way to explore new places and create lasting memories with loved ones. But through it all, the spirit of the great American road trip endures. It is a testament to our enduring fascination with the freedom and possibility of the open road. A fascination that Stuckey's has embodied for generations. As long as there are highways to explore and adventures to be had, the legacy of Stuckey's will continue to inspire and delight travelers of all ages. As we've seen, the story of Stuckey's is one of rise, fall, and revival, a journey that mirrors the changing face of the American road trip. From its humble beginnings as a pecan stand to its heyday as a beloved roadside icon, Stuckey's has always embodied the spirit of adventure and discovery that lies at the heart of the great American journey. Though the brand faced challenges and decline in the face of changing times, the tenacious efforts of Stephanie Stuckey have breathed new life into her grandfather's legacy. By tapping into the nostalgia and authenticity that made Stuckey's so special, she has rekindled the magic of the road trip for a new generation of travelers. So let us embrace the spirit of Stuckey's as we set out on our own journeys, big and small. Let us savor the simple pleasures of the open road, the wind in our hair, the sun on our faces, and the sweet taste of a pecan log roll on our lips. And let us remember that as long as there are highways to explore and memories to be made, the legacy of Stuckey's will endure, inspiring us to slow down, enjoy the ride, and make every mile count.